Oh, yeah, man. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, man. I love it. I love it. I love it. Bruh. What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, of course, with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as you guys. And I appreciate each and every one of you. Man, this is what it's all about. This is what it's all about. Family, football, friends, and football. Did I say football twice? Because football is that important. And for me growing up, football was everything in my household. And this was Washington-Dallas week. That's what you look for all year long because we hated those Washington Redskins. That's right, I'm saying the Washington Redskins. I'm going to be politically incorrect right now because this Commanders crap that you got now, this football team crap you got, it's nothing in comparison to what we used to have. The Dallas Cowboys and the Washington Redskins, the Redskins during the 70s were always chasing and trying to be the Dallas Cowboys. They ended up overtaking us during the 80s before we came back with a vengeance in the 90s. And now I don't know what we have as far as a rivalry. But for me, I miss it. I used to love when all the Washington fans would talk trash. My cousin would talk crash, Daniel, he's been beat down. He's been beat down like Rashid was, where he was literally with the Dallas Cowboy. You know what? Rashid, I just realized why you guys beat the Commanders. You got some extra luck because you had on that Dallas Cowboy blanket. Oh, my God. That's got to be it. It got rid of some of that New York Giants stank and put some of that America's team shine on you. But today, I want to think back to the glory days of football because, see, football was so different. You young whippersnappers out there don't understand what football used to be. Football was different because the offseason was your other job. That was your job that actually paid your bills. These guys that are getting, $50 million deals, dude, the whole league didn't get $50 million. Honestly, Chuck Bednarik, known as Concrete Charlie, it wasn't because he hit you like a concrete truck. No. He did cement work. You need a new driveway? Call Concrete Charlie. Oh, he also plays football too in his side time. Yeah, I'm being serious. And see, that's when players had nicknames. Night Train Lane. It wasn't that he ran like a night train. It was because he didn't like to fly, so he always take the night train the night before to get to the games. Yeah, it was a different world. And players didn't have free agency. They couldn't just go ahead and say, have a hissy fit and get traded someplace else. It wasn't they just decided in the offseason, I'm going to go ahead and join this team because we want to win a Super Bowl together. When they drafted you, they owned you. And so you had a different feel. You had your band of brothers on your football team. And you cared about winning because it wasn't about getting paid in a big contract. You could still get kicked off the team. But it was really about winning. And shout out to all, and we've lost too many of our greats from the past in recent years. If you really want to understand football, Skip Bayless says, well, I've been covering football since before you were born, Richard Sherman. You still don't know shit, Skip. Skip. But if you really want to understand football and the real roots, please go back and look at the Neanderthal way football used to be played. It was a thing of, I say it's a thing of beauty. It was actually brutal. It was brutal. When you'd have guys like Hacksaw Reynolds break his leg, tape that shit up and go back out there. When Ronnie Lott would have half of his finger cut off at halftime and back out there. There was no concussion protocol. How many fingers do you see? You see 3? Okay, you're fine. You can go back out there as long as you can see something. It was a different world. And for the Cowboys in Washington That was the marquee matchup. That was the rivalry. That was put your kids and your wife to bed because we going to go on. And this morning, what I want to do as we get ready for Thanksgiving, we've been working here on the house. I know up here, pardon my dust, we haven't done much up in here, but the downstairs of the house is freaking insane. My daughter Michaela's here. She said the place is haunted, and she saged the house last night to kind of let the spirits kind of go their ways and get released. And they're taking care of cleaning stuff up. I'm going to put some extra shelves in the cabinets and things. And I'm going to hang this other door on the laundry room. And, I'm going to grab a truckload of gravel because it's kind of muddy outside so people aren't tracking in dirt. But we doing that thing. We doing that thing. We doing the thing. And it feels good to see something come together. And I'm hoping that tomorrow that we cook dinner, that everybody gets where they're going, safe and healthy. And that tomorrow we cook a good Thanksgiving dinner and we feast on Commanders. But I want you to check this out this morning. I want you to enjoy a blast from the past. And yes, Philadelphia, you could say it was on a VHS tape, might have even been on a Betamax. But the cool thing is that joke don't really work because you can still see it. They've been taking it and they've digitally put it on the internet. So get some new jokes, bro. Get some new jokes.
Points on the scoreboard, but plenty of tallies on the judge's fight card. Tonight's Monday Night Memories recalls a game more noted for takedowns than touchdowns.
Pleasant smiles graced RFK Stadium on this Monday in October. Jimmy Carter, not one too keen on
There's
defensive
Rosalind, rest in
tactics,
peace.
was on hand to witness what should have been a high-scoring affair. Joe Theismann was under the watchful eye of offensive coordinator Joe Walton. Run-and-shoot maven Jack Pardee was in his first year as Washington's head coach. And legendary football mastermind Tom Landry and the defending Super Bowl champs were in town. But for all the offensive geniuses present, the scoring in this game didn't amount to a pile of peanuts.
Damn.
Dallas's swarming doomsday defense shut down the likes of John Riggins and Joe Theismann.
So,
and behind the passing of Roger
that would have been 15 yards. Look at these hits.
Joe Dupree and Drew Pearson, the Cowboys
Roger
did
the
move
Dodger.
the ball for over 300 yards.
I'm getting chills right now. I'm getting chills.
Cowboys approached the Redskins' end zone often, but were repeatedly turned away.
Look at that. You see no flag, right? Do you see a flag? Do you see a flag? No. Robert
Neither
Newhouse.
second-year man Tony Dorsett nor Staubach could put points on the board. In fact, Dallas failed to score a touchdown for the first time since 1976. Eventually, Riggins and Theismann did manage to move the Redskins.
This is football, guys.
Washington didn't score a touchdown either, but steady place kicker Mark Mosley connected on 3 field goals, including a 52-yarder, as the Redskins won 9-5. 9 points won't win Pardee many games with the Houston Oilers run and shoot these days, but in 1978 it was just enough to shoot down Washington's fiercest rival.
Now, let's get it on.
Each autumn over the last 4 decades, the cities of Washington, D.C. and Dallas have waged pro football's epic battle of the Old West. Cowboys versus Redskins, a modern-day range war, and the NFL's fiercest feud.
That was as intense
Look at that.
as any rivalry.
Today,
The
every
memories
one of these
that
would be a
series
flag.
Stay with me more than any other series that I've been associated with since I became a broadcaster and stopped being a player.
The give is to Larry Brown. Brown gets one block behind Arrowway and breaks the tackle on the 15-yard line. Brown will go into the end zone for a touchdown.
And terms of the evolution of the sport, I have to think that the personalities of Tom Landry and George Allen
Look at Calvin
and the
Hill,
success
a young
of those
man.
two teams had a lot to do with making the sport as popular as it was in the 70s and on into the 80s.
Roger going deep for Drew down the sideline. Caught to the 5. Touchdown, Dallas Cowboys.
I think this was the best rivalry in football. I believe it was good for the NFL to have the tremendous rivalry between Dallas and the Washington Redskins, and that's still going on.
Back goes Aikman again. Good protection this time. Up over the top, Alvin Walton picks it up on the 29. He's back to the far side, 15, 10, 5. It's a touchdown. Washington Redskins defense.
It's been a series with as many plot twists and memorable characters as a Louis L'Amour Western.
Erase the Redskins. That's what I'm talking
Allen
about.
became the head coach of the Redskins in 1971. He brought with him infectious enthusiasm and a collection of old pros who knew how to win in the NFL.
The Redskins were hungry for a victory. They were hungry for any kind of...
My brother ran into his wife's car.
Season. They hadn't had a championship in 30 years.
What I tried to dwell on is that you're in the nation's capital. You're representing the nation. And I felt that way myself. We had a special mission.
He'd say Tex Ram put the Cowboys in there because he thought that the East Division was patsies, that the Redskins would never be anything, and that it was a setup by the league to make sure that the Cowboys always got to the playoffs.
Roger Staubach and Company. Roger Staubach, Tom Landry, Tex Ram. Here we go. The fact that Dallas was so good.
Showing too many good Redskin highlights here.
And I remember making the statement that if we can't beat Dallas, there's no sense in issuing the equipment.
But I remember George always saying that, if it was up to him to have the outcome of the game, he would like to fight Tom Landry on the 50-yard line of the game if that what it meant to win. I don't think he'd have won.
I don't think he'd have won.
Go hard, go hard, go hard. Okay, that's the way to find daylight. That's the way to find daylight. Okay, that's
Tom Landry,
offense and defensive coordinator and head
apartment
coach.
buildings nearby. They had the police clear the apartments. They were sure George had spies everywhere.
Boy, that's the way to go.
He made up all these goofy stories, got us to hate the Cowboys. The Cowboys, we were just the Redskins, you know what I mean? We meant nothing to them. But George got us so whipped up and fired up that, that we'd go out there and we'd be crazed by the time we stepped on the field. And then
Look at his hits.
Our craziness, and they got crazy, so the rivalry developed. It really came because George had a team which didn't have that much skill.
He built his Redskins up to where they were about to pop. And they were so emotionally high, buddy, that if you walked in that stadium, you better have your guns on because they were coming after you. It was, I'm telling you, I might say I hated him, but he had his boys ready to play.
This
The
was football,
Redskins were
guys.
out for blood when they met the Cowboys for the 1972 Conference Championship.
Kilmer drops straight back. Being rushed, throws his pass to the end zone to Taylor. Touchdown, Washington.
Boo. Boo. I was 7 years old.
After this punishing war of attrition, the Redskin-Cowboy rivalry was never the same.
Trying to create a hatred between both teams and just hoping that our team hated them more on Sunday than they hated us. And those games that we hated them more, we always won.
The following season, a national audience witnessed the feud in all its fury.
We went to Washington to play on Monday night, and I never was ever in a game like I was in that night. It's a wonderful football game. True hard-hitting, players swearing at other players, players swearing at the other coaches. It was a hatred type of deal. We hated each other, and they beat us. Last play of the game, Walt Garrison caught the ball on the 1-inch line, getting ready to score, and Kenny Houston stopped it. And I was a rookie. I thought I'd never, ever played in a game like that before in my life.
It was not a war story, but rather a fairy tale, when a Dallas bench warmer replaced an injured Roger Staubach and made magic in Texas Stadium.
Just like Jason Garrett.
All obscure players, they come off the bench in a
Clint
tight situation and go to and have a
to great glory he had that afternoon. That was a tremendous performance. You just couldn't believe it. You know, when you lose your quarterback and you're up against Washington, who's a good football team, and you're behind to start with, you don't expect things to happen like that.
Landry came and said, well, they're talking. Said they're going to knock Roger out, and all we've got left is that rookie, you know, nameless rookie. And then he just kind of would turn his head and look at me like this, you know, like, well. But I was confident, you know. I felt like at the time I was a gunfighter with a football. If there was somebody open, I could hit him.
Longley brought his team from far behind, leading Dallas to 3 touchdowns and a win over Washington for the most thrilling game ever played.
And the quarterback controversy was born for about 2 minutes.
But no Dallas rally will ever surpass Roger Staubach's heroic performance in the final week of the 1979 season. Both teams needed a victory to make the playoffs, and such high stakes made for high drama.
From the beginning to the end, it was comebacks by both teams. And we came back 21-17 and looked like we had total control of the game. And then all of a sudden, we didn't have any control of the game.
Theismann delay play to Riggins, coming to the right side, and Riggins has a big hole, first down the sideline, 40, 30, he's gone to the 20, the 10, he's still on his feet, touchdown, and that may be more than the Cowboys can overcome.
I was recording the game with KRLD as a guest broadcaster that day. In my heart, I believed that the Cowboys were going to win the game, and my announcer, the co-announcer with me, Brad Shim, kept saying, hey, Charlie, there's no way. The game's over. So, Brad, hey, you got to believe that this team can win, that if we could just get the ball back to Roger somehow.
Clock is running, 2:38 left in the game. Shotgun formation, Staubach throwing, caught, string.
Go. Touchdown.
Touchdown, Rod String. How can you live like this, doing this every week?
This is what it's all about.
This is a killer. 42 seconds left in the game. Redskins lead by 6. Second down and 8 from the 8-yard line. No shotgun this time. Staubach throwing in the end zone. Tony Hill.
Thrill Hill.
Tony Hill.
Man, you know, watching that just gave me chills, just took me back like a time warp. I know it was a long time ago for you young pups, but I'm telling you, that's when football was football. Man, and how I miss that rivalry the way it used to be. Yeah, good people. I hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving. Be safe out there on the roads. And I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow for the game. As always, I appreciate each